Good morning. I have a series of videos that speak for themselves, so I will let you hear them.
They want to take away Social Security, science, Medicaid, and Medicare. Don't educate them, dumb them down, and let them breathe dirty air. Tear down the walls of ivy and let them all eat cake. Keep pushing lie after lie after lie after lie. Make them believe real news is fake. Take everything from them. Those fools thought they were free, sitting on a golden toilet, stinking, until they all bow down to me. Oh, what they can't take away is ours. 'Cause we the people, got the power. They can't take what's ours, 'cause we the people have got the power. They can't take what's ours. I know the people got the power. Say it with me, y'all. They can't take what's ours, 'cause we the people have got the power. Say it again. They can't take what's ours. We the people have got the power. Don't stop standing up.
Dear white people, we don't need you to explain the past. We already know. What we need deeply, truly, is your willingness to sit with our stories without flinching, without defending, to hold space for our grief without rushing to say, but that is not that bad now, or we all suffer, or worse, you should be grateful for what colonization brought. Grateful for the languages that replaced our own, for borders drawn by strangers in Berlin without a single African at the table, for Christianity and capitalism forced upon us like saviors when we already had our own spiritual system and economies. That is not gratitude. That is gaslighting. Hello. Welcome to another edition of the African Narrative Podcast. My name is Femi Shehu.
News and show you white people who are killing their daughters, their husbands, their wives, their children, killing each other off. Well, if we put that in the paper, you tell me and prove to me that black people are violent and that they're going to take over, and I can open up the New York Daily News and show you white people who are killing their daughters, their husbands, their wives, their children, killing each other off. Well, if we put that in the paper and make it black and white, which is where the whole thing happens. It's in the paper. If a black man does something, it says, John Jones, blacklist, said black, 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 and then the black, black. Now, if a white man does it, it isn't white man Jones. It's just a man. Nondescript, just a regular old raggedy man went out, killed his two daughters and his wife, and shot himself. Now, if he does that, then everybody seems to just either sympathize with it or let it go out the window. But if a black man does it, then any white bigot can point his finger and say, see that? There they go again. Well, that isn't right. You tell me and prove to me that black people are violent.
Yes, sir.
The Egyptians are not African. I'm sorry.
Do you know where Egypt is?
Yes, it's in
Where?
North Africa.
Okay, stop. Stop right there. You just said that you said the Egyptians are not African.
White South Africa.
Wait. Yes, they are African. See, okay, to be African means you come from the continent of Africa. So if you come from the continent of Africa, that's who you are. So that means you're an African. So and you know you do know. Do you also deny science that man originated from Africa, or do you say that's false science?
What are you talking about? I mean, what are you referring to?
I'm talking archaeology. I'm talking biology. I'm talking science. In terms of the where did man originate? Where scientists? Why scientists?
Egypt was an amazing civilization. It was not created by black Africans. I'm sorry.
Was it? Who created it?
People who are white.
Okay, how are people?
You can look at. You can actually look at art, and they differentiate between races.
I gotta ask you a question. How do you
From ancient Egyptian art.
You do know those were black people. You do know. You do know from science you can't get black from white. You can get white from black. You do know when it comes to evolution. When it comes.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Do you never studied science?
I see what you're. Yes, I have.
No. So, but
I mean, I'm not a scientist.
But man originated in Africa. Yes or no?
That is a consensus. Yes.
Okay. So if man originated in Africa, which means that they were Africans, then all of a sudden when you talk about the amazing works of the Egyptians, they were people of color. I know that's a little rough for you to handle, but I know you want to hold on to that, somehow thinking white built the pyramids, but I'm trying to understand.
Yeah, we did.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't, because first of all, they were building things in Egypt while white Europeans were still in caves. That's a fact.
That is
That's a fact. Okay,
Sure.
Well, it could not have been said any better. But we have a problem understanding that the origin of man comes out of Africa because we've been conditioned so heavily that when we look in the mirror and we even think about us coming from Africa, they have taught us to hate ourselves so much that we want to be somebody else. In fact, you really want to be like your father in America, okay? Because that's what you act like, okay? And your father did whatever it took and did not care who owned the land because he came to take, rape, and pillage. And then he was going to make you work for him for free. If you had resources, he wanted it all. And he wanted to ensure that he kept making money off of you. And so therefore, I believe that's the reason why we have the number of black people or African people in America. But as much as I hate it, the fact that we are all from Africa, because mankind comes out of Africa. And as Roland said, your DNA and biology classes from when you were a little child will tell you that. But when man gets something in his head, he will not believe the truth no matter what. If 100,000 years ago there were nothing but Africans and Africans populated this earth, then everybody's from Africa. Now, I thank y'all for watching. You're not going to listen to me. You don't want to hear what I got to say because simply sometimes just the content is telling the truth in the color of my skin. And I understand that because this is America. But we the people do have the power. Problem is, when you don't know what to do with power, you might as well act like you don't have any power. It's almost like I said once before, you can have $1 million in the bank, but if you don't know that you have $1 million in the bank, you could still be walking down the street pushing a basket.